So fine. In this session, we'll discuss about Le Chatelier's principle. We know when an equilibrium is established, let us say N2 plus 3H2 gives rise to 2 ammonia. This reaction is exothermic reaction. Delta H is equals to negative. When this reaction is exothermic, what happens? Okay, after reaching the equilibrium, what happens if the temperature is changed, if the pressure is changed, if the concentrations are changed? Okay, if any inert gas is added, what happens? To explain all this, we have one very simple principle which is called Le Chatelier principle. Okay, so here whenever you are mentioning equilibrium reactions, don't forget to mention their physical states. That plays very important role in this lesson. So what I wanted to mention is, for example, the equilibrium is attained and now you are adding extra nitrogen, or you are adding extra ammonia, or you are removing hydrogen. What happens in such kind of cases? That is our topic. Okay, now Le Chatelier principle. What Le Chatelier, Braun, okay, now Le Chatelier and Braun, what they say is, okay, now very simple logic. They say whenever we are changing pressure or temperature or concentration after reaching a particular equilibrium state, okay, whenever an equilibrium is already established and you are making some changes in the concentration or in the pressure or in temperature and all, definitely the equilibrium, okay, now is automatically shifts. Okay, now automatically shifts either forward or backward. It will go forward or backward depending on the change you are making. So automatically it will move in opposite direction where the change is going to be nullified. That means whatever the change you are making, the change will become zero. For example, you are increasing the concentration of reactants, that will increase the concentration of products, balance. Okay, so according to Le Chatelier, whenever an equilibrium is subjected to a change in pressure, temperature, concentration, whenever an equilibrium is having a change in temperature or concentration or pressure, the equilibrium will auto shift in such a direction so that the change is nullified. That is Le Chatelier's principle. Now we'll see one by one effects. First effect is effect of concentration. What happens when you are making some changes? Concentration of reactants. If you are increasing, I am showing with an arrow of upside, that is increasing. If the concentration of the reactants increases, then okay, concentration of the reactant increases means you are making so much of nitrogen and hydrogen, extra adding your hydrogen. So forward reaction takes place. Forward reaction takes place means what is going to form more better? Products are more formed. More products are going to form. Whenever you are changing the concentration, that means when you are increasing the concentration of the reactant, forward reaction takes place. That means more products are formed. Now you can say the next line easily. If the concentration of reactants is decreased, if the concentration of the reactant is decreased, then definitely the reaction will take place in backward direction. Backward direction means more reactants are going to form. More reactants are going to form. Our reactant concentration is going to increase. When you are decreasing the concentration of the reactants, then backward reaction will take place. Increasing in the concentration of the reactants, forward reaction. Decreasing in the concentration of the reactants, backward reaction. Okay, simple logic. Now, reverse we'll see. Concentration of products. If the concentration of the products is increased, if you are increasing the concentration of the products, when more products are there, the reaction will come backside. Okay, now, so backward reaction is favored. That means more reactants are going to form. if the product's concentration is increasing, if this is more, obviously backside reaction will take place. Means more amount of reactants are going to form. That means you are favoring the backward reaction. If the concentration of the products is decreased, that means time to time you are taking out the ammonia, concentration of ammonia is decreasing. So forward reaction should take place so that more amount of ammonia is going to form. That means products are going to be formed more. More products are going to be formed. Very simple logic. If the concentration of the reactant increases, forward reaction is favored. If the concentration of the products increases, backward reaction favored. If the concentration of reactant decreases, backward reaction favored. If the concentration of products decreases, forward reaction favored. Forward reaction favored means more products are formed. Backward reaction favored means more reactants are formed. What happens when pressure changes? See, if delta N is equals to 0, means number of moles of products minus number of moles of reactants are 0, then pressure effect is 0. No effect of pressure. Okay, no effect of pressure. Then if delta N is equals to positive, what is the meaning of delta N is equals to positive? Delta N means number of moles of products minus number of moles of reactant, that is positive, means number of moles of products are more than number of moles of reactants. In this case, if for example you see N2 plus 3H2 gives rise to 2 ammonia, here products are 2 moles, reactants are 4 moles, so delta N is equals to 2 minus 4, that is minus 2. So negative, that is, okay, the delta S is negative in this case. For example, when delta N is negative, when delta N is positive, what happens? Okay, here I am leaving one line. You see, if delta N is negative, that is number of moles of products is less than number of moles of reactants. If this is the case, you can use your common sense. More pressure, less volumes, because pressure is inversely proportional to volume. If you want to get more products, okay, now if you want to get more products, here products volume is less when you compare with this. For example, here 4 moles are there, here 2 moles are there, so volume here is less. When volume here is less, okay, now less volume favors more pressure. Okay, now volume less means more pressure is required. So in such kind of cases, high pressure, if you are increasing pressure, then products are more formed. More products are formed, or products concentration increases, or you can say forward reaction takes place. Forward reaction takes place. Okay, I give you one more reaction. You see, PCl5, here I am mentioning PCl5 gives rise to PCl3 plus Cl2. Let's say all these are gases. Number of moles of the products are 2, number of moles of reactant is 1, so delta N is going to be 1. 2 minus 1 is equals to 1. This is delta N. Fine. So now you see, if you want to get more products, okay, now here you see this is 1 mole, this is 2 moles. 2 moles means volumes are going to be more. When volumes are going to be more, the pressure should be less. So in this case, less pressure favors, when the pressure is less, that favors the product side. Favors products means forward reaction is going to take place. Okay, so I am just giving you with the 2 examples, or simple sense if you want to see, very simple logic if you want to see. If the delta N is equal to 0, there is no effect of pressure. Otherwise, you just see the reaction. Okay, now if number of moles are more, number of moles more means number of volumes will be more. When the volume is more, pressure should be less. Okay, your wish. If you want to get more products, less number of moles are there, that means less volume, so pressure should be more. In this case, if you want to get more number of more amount of products you want, okay, now volumes are more, so less pressure is favored. So if delta N is equal to positive, if delta N is equal to negative, in this sense also you can say. Otherwise, the simple line is, if delta N is equals to 0, there is no effect. Otherwise, okay, now the simple line you remember, you see this one, high pressure favors low volume. Okay, now high pressure favors low volume, that means less number of moles. Less number of moles, so it will favor. Low pressure favors high volumes, that means higher number of moles. When N is more, then low pressure. When number of moles are less, then high pressure. This is one important point that you can say about effect of pressure. See, reactions are of two types. Delta H is equals to negative. That reaction we call exothermic reaction. Delta H is equals to positive. We call this is endothermic reaction. A simple logic, a very simple logic is, if the reaction is already exothermic, means you are already getting energy. So here low temperature goods, low temperature favors. When the reaction is already endothermic, that means for that particular reaction we need high temperatures. So high temperature favors endothermic reaction. This is the only line. Okay, very simple line. When exothermic reaction is there, that exothermic reaction is favored by low temperatures. Okay, because exothermic reaction means some simple logic you see. A gives rise to B. If you are saying delta H is equals to negative, that means formation of B is exothermic, then definitely formation of A will be endothermic. Okay, if formation of is exothermic, that means low temperature is favored, high temperature is favoring definitely backward reaction, that is endothermic. So if forward reaction is exothermic, that means backward reaction is going to be definitely endothermic. So very simple line. If delta H is negative, that means exothermic reaction. For exothermic reaction, low temperatures are good. For endothermic reactions, high temperatures are good. Effect of temperature. So 3 points till now we have discussed. Concentration, high concentration of reactants or low concentration of products, forward reaction. Low concentration of reactants or high concentration of products, backward reaction. Exothermic reaction, low temperature. Endothermic reaction, high temperature. Effect of pressure, very simple. If delta N is equal to 0, no effect. If more number of moles are there, that means volumes are more, so less pressure is good at that site, and vice versa. One more factor is effect of catalyst. Actually, there is no effect of catalyst. Okay, now catalyst does not change any equilibrium. The only thing is it will make the equilibrium attain fast. Okay, now the equilibrium is attained quickly. Okay, now instead of getting after 15 minutes or 20 minutes, you may get in 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Okay, now so equilibrium is going to help to establish the equilibrium quickly. Okay, now rather than that, there is no effect of catalyst. I give you one example. You see under which conditions it is going to be good. See the same example which is there in your textbooks also. 2NH3. Delta H is equals to negative. This is third time in this lesson only I am writing. In this session only I am writing. Then you can understand what is the importance of this. So the condition I am saying is I wanted to get more ammonia. To get ammonia more, what are the good conditions for that? The first condition is nitrogen and hydrogen concentration should be more. Concentration of nitrogen and concentration of hydrogen should be more, because when the reactant concentration increases, more products are formed. I am getting more ammonia. And ammonia concentration should be less. That means time to time the concentration of ammonia should be removed. Okay, that means ammonia, whatever the ammonia is forming, take it out. Whenever you are taking out, only forward reaction will be happening. Okay, no backward reaction, because you are taking out ammonia continuously. So by increasing the concentration of reactants or by decreasing the concentration of products, you can expect forward reaction. Interesting thing is pressure. Okay, now number of moles are 4 here, number of moles are 2 here. Okay, now less number of moles are there. When less number of moles are there, that means less volumes are there. Less volumes means we need high pressures. So high pressure is applied here in order to get the ammonia. Very high pressures are good. Then temperature. Temperature, you see, the forward reaction is exothermic. So low temperature is good according to condition low temperature. But at very low temperatures, the reaction will be very slow. So optimum temperatures we are going to use, or you can say normal temperatures we are going to use. But according to Le-Chatelet principle, the temperature should be low only. Temperature should be low only because the forward reaction is exothermic. But practically, to start a reaction, we need some activation energy, and for all that, a minimum temperature is required. Iron, okay, now iron and molybdenum generally we use as catalyst and promoter, and nowadays we are using potassium oxide and aluminum oxide as catalyst. So catalyst has no important role. It just establishes the equilibrium quickly. So this is the catalyst. Temperature actually should be low, but minimum temperatures we maintain. Less number of moles are there in the product side. So volumes are less. That means high pressures are required. By increasing the concentration of nitrogen, hydrogen, or by decreasing the concentration of ammonia time to time, we can get more ammonia. More ammonia can be obtained. One other example is when sulfur dioxide reacts with oxygen, it forms sulfur trioxide. In this case, again you see, sulfur dioxide and oxygen increase in concentration of sulfur dioxide and oxygen or decrease in concentration of SO3. Reaction is exothermic, so low temperatures, but at low temperatures the reaction will be very slow. That's why we maintain a minimum temperature, or you say optimum temperatures, we use this word. Minimum temperature is required. Volumes 3 moles here, 2 moles here, so less number of moles are there. Less number of moles means high pressure is required. You can use platinum as a catalyst. Okay, otherwise you can use NO, nitric oxide, as a catalyst here. Catalyst is mandatory for general reaction, covalent reactions. So by increasing the concentration of sulfur dioxide and oxygen, or by decreasing the concentration of sulfur trioxide and a minimum temperature, but actually to be frank the condition must be low temperature and high pressure, are good for more yield of sulfur trioxide. To get more SO3, these are the conditions. And one interesting condition is effect of inert gas. Effect of inert gas on equilibrium. Okay, now here two conditions are there. The first condition is at constant pressure. Let us say this is a container. In this container, A plus B something is giving you C. Okay, now a general reaction I am saying. Okay, now all these are, you say, consider gases only. This is a gas, this is a gas, this is a gas, let us say. And we wanted to maintain at constant pressure. Say, let's say the pressure is 1 atmosphere something, the pressure is going to be constant. To this you are adding now helium gas. Addition of inert gas. The helium gas has no attractions, no interactions with the A and B and C. So simply helium gas is coming here, and whatever the helium gas is coming, it is won't staying simply here. It is going to attack, it is going to touch, it is going to hit the walls of the container, and because of its hitting, the pressure is going to be increased. Okay, at constant pressure, you see, our condition is the pressure must be constant, but the helium gas whatever you added, that is going to increase the pressure, because helium is not going to stay as it is going to attack on the others. So in order to maintain the pressure constant, okay, now because helium is going to create extra pressure here, in order to maintain the pressure constant, what we do is we increase this volume. Okay, now we increase the volume. When the volume is increased, we know the pressure will be decreased. Okay, now whatever the pressure helium, for example, let us the initial pressure is 1 atm. Okay, now and the container is 1 liter container is there, and because of extra helium, one more atm pressure is created. So the pressure became 2 atm. Okay, now we are making 1 liter into 2 liters. When the volume is increased, automatically the pressure will come down, because pressure is inversely proportional to volume. Pressure is inversely proportional to volume. In order to decrease the increased pressure, in order to reduce the increased pressure, what we are doing is we are increasing the overall volume. When the overall volume is increased, the concentration of A decreases, concentration of B decreases, concentration of C decreases. Let us say here 2 moles of reactants are there, 1 mole of product is there. 2 moles of reactants and 1 mole of product is there. So 2 mole of reactant concentration will be much decreased. Okay, now for example, let us say 2 persons are there, A and B. A earns 1 crore per month, B earns 1 lakh per month. If they are paying 30% as tax to the government, he is going to pay 30 lakhs. He is going to pay 30,000. Okay, now percentage wise both are same. Percentage wise both are same. But who is actually paying more? Okay, now A is paying more because A is earning more. The same way, more number of moles are there means more number of moles are there means here the decrease in concentration will be more. When the decrease in concentration is more here, when more amount of decrease is there, okay now, the equilibrium will be shifted this side because concentration is decreased. First point, effect of concentration. When the concentration decreases, reaction favored that side. So here this side reaction will be favored. So in one line what you can say, instead of writing all this, what you can say, at constant pressure, in order to maintain the pressure constant, okay now, after addition of the inert gas, volume is increased. When volume increases, concentration of every compound decreases. All reactant, product, added inert gas, everyone's concentration decreases. When the concentration decreases, okay now, when the concentration decreases, equilibrium shifts towards more decreased side. More decreased side means more number of moles side. More number of moles side. When the equilibrium, when we are adding an inert gas at constant pressure, because of the constant pressure condition, the volume must be increased in order to maintain the pressure constant. That means concentration is going to decrease. Reactants, products, everyone concentration decreases. Then the equilibrium will shift to more number of mole sides, because more number of mole side only, more decrease will be noticed. More number of mole side, equilibrium is established. For example, N2 plus 3H2 gives rise to 2 ammonia. If this is the case, if you are adding inert gas at constant pressure, the reaction will be, the equilibrium will be shifted towards this side because more number of moles are there. If it is given H2 plus I2 gives rise to 2Hi, all are mentioned at gaseous state. Number of moles are same, so there is no effect of inert gas even at constant pressure also, because delta N is equals to 0. Otherwise, PCl5 gives rise to PCl3 plus Cl2, all are given in gaseous condition. 2 moles are there, 1 mole is there, so more number of moles are here. So in this case, the reaction will be favored in the forward direction. So very important point. Effect of inert gas at constant pressure favors more number of moles side. Directive if you want, at constant pressure favors more number of moles side. Effect of inert gas at constant volume. At constant volume, let us say this is 1 liter. A plus B gives rise to C is the condition. Some gases are present here. You are adding extra helium gas. Helium is going to create some pressure. Let it be, because we have no worries with the pressure, because our condition is volume must be constant. So pressure of helium is created. Let it be, because we are not maintaining any pressure conditions. So happy, there is no effect. Okay, because we are not changing anything, no effect. So effect of inert gas at constant volume, no effect on equilibrium, no effect on equilibrium, no effect on equilibrium. But if it is at constant pressure, if delta N is equal to 0, no effect. Otherwise, it favors more number of moles side. Favors more number of moles side. This is one very, very, very important topic. Okay. Have a wonderful time.